That was here.
Tavo.
Coffee number 2, trying to wake up. Me too. Mike N is here as well.
Hello, Mike. Thanks for coming. All I have is my bottle of water that is halfway frozen.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
I fill up a 1 liter water bottle halfway with water, put it in the freezer, kind of at an angle, and then when I want to drink it, I fill up the rest of it with water, cool water. So it always gives me cold water as I'm drinking it. That's a trick that I learned trying to survive in the heat that we have here and the humidity. So I know more people are going to come in, but I have to apologize that these are the same pictures that we're seeing on the last live and video. This is my car actually now that you're looking at now. Um, so this is my car now that you're looking at on the video here, but um, I did not. My computer was getting all clogged up with pictures, so I deleted a huge like 4,000 pictures and videos and stuff, so I could um, start again. But I haven't been publishing a lot. Haven't been publishing a lot to build up another 500 or 1,000 pictures to send to Mrs. Spec to do new ones. So buenas tardes, Tavo. ¿Cómo estás?
The VIPs are here.
Others should be coming. I sent emails out. My son is so important. He played video games all night, so he's asleep right now. So he may show up later. I'm not going to put any money on it though.
Mike says that's a sweet ride.
Yeah, in the video it was. It's sitting in front of the house right now with the left rear tire that's almost flat, and there's water that is pouring out the side of the head on the left side. I haven't taken the air cleaner off to see what it is yet, but that is a 4.6 liter Mexican engine. It's not the 4.2 that came from the U.S.
Mike says, Mrs. Beck, you need to push for that car. It is my car.
It is going to be her car, but every time I try to get it going, something else comes up. We fixed it. We pushed it out of the backyard, put the battery, charged the battery and everything. I drove it to the gas station, and coming back, there was a river of water underneath the car following me home. So I opened the hood, and I thought it was a freeze plug between the engine and the transmission, but as it turns out, it's something coming out the side of the head, and we have to figure out what it is when I get the mechanic over here.
Jay's here.
Hi, Jay. Thanks for being here.
I don't know what that is.
The pictures are not in order, videos are not in order, so they are what they are. Caribe GT. Yeah, I don't think it's real.
Buff del Campos here and Lester.
Hello, Buff. Thank you for coming.
Lester says hi, and Buff del Campos says, aren't cars fun?
Hi, Lester. Did my customer call you? Maybe not because it's the holiday weekend, but he has your number.
Mike says that you need to make the time to get your woman's car right.
If she wanted to drive, I would be doing that. But yeah, it needs a set of tires that are a really special size, and they're very expensive if we can even find them here. So that's been a problem too. Even though we did drive all the way from Guadalajara on those tires, the car's been here for 2.5 years, so they're like 17 years old now, something like that, and not in good condition. Not a good 17 years old. But it's all on the list. I don't know if you noticed the blue headlights that were in the front of the black car. Those were LEDs that burn the plug, so the whole Headlight wiring system needs to be redone, and the air conditioning needs to be fixed. But the shop said it would be like 3,500 pesos to get it working again. I don't know, like $180 or something to get it working again.
Lester says, no call yet. I'll let you know if he calls.
Okay, thank you.
Mike says, yeah, old car tire sizes can be hard to find in the US too sometimes.
These are wide 14-inch tires, but I don't want to switch out. Like I could put the wheels, the Magnum 500s that are on my Dart, I can put it on that car and just drive it, even though those tires are old. But I really like the wheels that are on that black car. It looks so good on there.
Bob says, I have used so many old tires. He won't let me drive in old tires anymore. On old tires anymore.
Well, you probably shouldn't, but they can see us.
A little bit, yeah.
We are in a situation where the roads here are so hot because of the sun, and that really damages tires if the heat from the car and then the extra heat that's on the ground, so they tend to explode. I have had since the time I've been living here, I've had 3 tires just explode on the cars sitting outside. Well, not one, two at the other house, and one here on my green wagon, and they were brand new tires that I put on it. So one tire just exploded by itself, and it sounds like a bomb going off in front of the house.
Jay says, my new Mitsubishi has 14-inch tires.
But they're not very wide.
And Mike says, keep the same size so it doesn't throw the speedometer off.
Right. Well, who knows if the speedometer's off already because those aren't the factory size tires. This is the driving video of the black car, and I didn't pay really close attention, but he's really trying to hold that car in the lane. He's gripping that steering wheel. But we drove it back all the way from Guadalajara, and it was an enjoyable drive until we hit there was an accident on the road, and we were in a long backup. But whenever there's an accident out there, everybody puts on their hazard lights. I'm like, well, the guy behind me has his hazard lights on, so I don't need to do that because you put the hazard lights on, you put your foot on the brake, it just stops flashing. So I don't need to wear down my battery because I turned the car off just waiting for it to. Oh, that's another thing. It needs some shims on the starter. There's a really nasty grinding when you start it. So the mechanic can handle all that. It'll be a really nice car when we get all the little details. That we have to find a whole bunch of AMC pieces, like the right front seat folds forward. It needs one little piece on the seat, and we can only get that from an old AMC somewhere. So it's all on the list.
Jay has never had a tire explode. And Tabo says, worst tire experience I've had recently was a 12-year-old one start thread separation on a front wheel, bumpy ride until I pulled over.
Oh, I've had plenty of those, but with the heat that we have here, it gets to 110, 120 degrees outside. I don't know if the tires are just horrible, horrible quality, but the brand new tire, it was a 235 75 15 white wall and everything. I bought them 10 years ago now, so the tire only lasted maybe 5 years. Just sitting on the car, I wasn't even driving it. The car was just sitting in the backyard, and boom, it exploded and went flat. So
Jay wants to know what engine it has.
the black car,
Yeah.
it is a 4.6 liter inline six. It's a Mexican only engine. They put it in when the car got here. It is a U.S. car. So yeah, it says 4.6 liters right on the right side of the car.
Mike says, I've had a tractor tire blow up on me, bruised up the side of my face and arm, insert ear stringing.
Oh no, were you filling it with air or something, or just happened to be walking by?
Driveway of Misfits here, and he says, hey, all can only stay for a few minutes. Just wanted to say hi.
Hello, Chris. Thanks for being here.
And Jay says 110 to 120 degrees. No wonders why.
Yeah, it's the other tires I could understand because they were on my 81 Impala, and I never bought new tires for it. They were just whatever came on the car, whatever I could find. But we never go anywhere. You know, if we drive to a store or something, it's just 25, 30 miles an hour to the store and back to the house. So there was no highway driving. There was no reason to go spend a lot of money on new tires. So, but on that car, two of them at two different times just exploded out in front of the house. Really, really rocked the neighborhood.
And Mike was feeling it there, the tractor
Oh
tire.
yeah, yeah, right in your face. No, not a good idea.
Remember that time we went to the river and two of the Durango tires went down?
Yeah.
That was fun.
How old was the car? Was the truck?
I don't
Because
know.
it had new. I put new tires on when I first got it, and
We were off roading though.
no, we were on the way to the river. We were on the highway
And coming back.
when the first one went down. Then I put the spare on,
Yeah.
and then we went down to the river.
Hmm.
Came back up
After spending a while.
after spending the day, and on the way back at night, another tire
It
blew.
wasn't night, but yeah.
Yeah, it was dark,
No, it wasn't dark. I remember we were at the highway. We had my sister and we had Christian
and we had
and Mandy and
Nikki,
Nikki.
the dog. Yeah. So, well, it was nighttime by the time the tow truck got there.
Yeah.
And luckily, a friend of mine owned a tire shop, and he opened up his tire shop to put 4 new tires on my truck that night. But
Lone Range Garage is here.
hey, Lone Wrench, welcome to my live.
And Mike says he likes that shade of blue.
Yeah, unfortunately, that one sold. I've seen a lot of baby blue vehicles recently. Really odd.
Tabo says, my brother witnessed a tire accident at his work. Large tractor wheel split type, and the workmate undid the wrong nuts. Sent the mechanic across the workshop. He did not survive.
That's too bad. They are dangerous to work with, especially the split rims. A lot of places won't even touch them. I had new tires put on my Durango yesterday, and my buddy that was in here on the last one, hopefully he's not listening to this. Um, his guys couldn't get the tires onto the wheels because my Durango wheels are really wide and the tires are 235 75 235 15s, but they aren't really wide. They're Chinese tires. So pretty close to his tire shop was another guy, and all they work on are semis and big vehicles, really big vehicles. And these guys, they don't have machines; they're just doing it by hand and everything. So he took my wheels over there, and the guy just boom, boom, boom with the air thing. Boom, he got it to got it to seal and like that. And hopefully they'll never go flat because I'll never get them back on the rim.
Mm-hmm.
But they're on there now. They're like 10-ply tires, so I can tow with it, and they're not gonna blow up or anything.
Vintage Adventure Drives is here.
Hey man, welcome. Thanks for coming. You're not working on anything today?
Will the Trail is here as well. And say good afternoon from New York. I saw your listing from the 1983 Ford Fairmont. It's a really nice car. When I look at it, it shows how cars would have been if the smog regulations never happened.
Yes, Will, that is absolutely true. There was no smog here in Mexico, so it's all engine, all power. That one is a good price because it's a daily driver. It needs the dash pad. It needs a set of tires, which I did include in the price. The price does include a new set of tires because I'm not driving that thing back on those tires. But and it's a stick shift. It's a box top stick shift. So
Lester says the only tire I ever had explode was a bicycle at a gas station. I was a kid and didn't know what I was doing.
how much air did you put in that tire?
He was floating. Okay. Mike says, yeah, those split rims are super dangerous. Okay.
Is Doctor Spec here?
I don't think. Oh yeah, here is. Dr. Spec is here. Hi, Dr.
Hey,
Spec.
Hey, Junior Spec.
Hi, Dr. Spec.
Third year of doctor school, so not quite a doctor yet.
Okay. Oh, he's just saying. They're saying hi to him.
His mother was probably, "You get on that live right now. You're not sleeping anymore."
Vintage says, I just got back from the lady's house. It's raining pretty hard right now, so no projects.
The wipers work on your car, on your satellite. Good afternoon, doctor.
Yeah. Then Jay is, who is Dr. Spec? Jay wants to know who's Dr. Spec.
Jay, he is my son. He just started his third year of medical school. So he's studying, 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 and he was sleeping when I called him and said, "Get on this live." So he's here. You see that video you're seeing right now? That is a 1983 Fairmont wagon that had the 3.8 V6 in it here in Mexico. The one that I published today, I'm questioning if it isn't even an 83 model because it has a V8 under the hood. And I'm not sure if it was optional to get the 3.8. You could choose either one. I'm not even sure. It may be an 82 model for all I know because I didn't check the VIN on it. But and people really don't know what they have generally. But that baby blue wagon is still for sale after 2 years.
Vintage says, the Satellite is the best car I have for driving in the rain. It does spin the tires a little too easily.
Mm, little too light in the back.
Will says, here in America from 1980 through 1982, the Mustang and a couple other Fords. Top engine choice was the 255 SID V8 with only 119 horsepower, 119
Yeah,
horsepower.
well, I know that. I grew up in Southern California, so we had even stricter regulations on the engine power and engine and with the variable venturis and all of that garbage that after 2 years the car wouldn't run right and everything was sealed. You can do no adjustments, nothing. You just I guess had to replace it, but it's so freeing being here that because I sold Lester LeSabre there a Fairmont uh, two-door Fairmont Elite and drove that like 2,000 kilometers. And man, that was such a nice driving car.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful driving car, the Fairmont. Because the way you look at it is in the U.S., the Fairmont was basically a bigger Pinto with the Pinto engine and everything. But in Mexico, it was a slightly smaller Crown Victoria. They had the same engine, same transmissions. Well, you could get the stick shift in the Fairmont, but it's a slightly smaller Crown Victoria if you want to look at it that way. And it drove like it too, very smooth.
Jay says, I know it's your son, but which handle?
Dr.
The
Spec.
can I go like this?
What?
Oh, it doesn't come up. How do
I
you?
don't know what it does on the phone.
Mm,
Jay, Dr. Spec is my son.
I don't know how to
You don't,
add someone.
it doesn't work on the phone. It only works on the computer.
Well, that's rude. Dabo says, your climate must be very kind to cars. So many of those are in fabulous condition compared to what you find down here.
Most of these are not in my area. Most of these are in Mexico City or small towns, or because you get Mexico City and then Estado de Mexico, and you have all the little states around it, and they basically sharing the same climate, which is not really hot, not really cold, no snow, not near the ocean, so there's no rust to talk to speak of. So people care for their vehicles here because it's the one they have. They can't go buy 3 4 vehicles and just have them sitting around as a general rule. So they are cared for.
Mexico's pretty big, and we do have different climates. We have several different sets of climates. Like we do have snow, we do have jungle,
There's
forest.
not a lot of places that have snow.
No, but we do have it.
Yeah. Here's the car that I sold to Lester LeSabre. It's a two-door Elite, top of the line. Had more power options that I've ever seen on a Fairmont here, including the power seat, which worked. The alloy wheels, the
Le-
vents in the roof. So yeah, it had a lot of different options on it.
Lester says about exploding the bicycle tire. He says he was putting all the air in it until it exploded. I like to hear the bell ding at each PSI. I don't know what the pressure was.
Okay,
Uh,
then it must. How many ding did you hear?
mhm. Okay.
Did you miss one from Lone Wrench?
No, they're talking with themselves.
They said he had a Fairmont or a Mercury Zephyr.
No, I read that one.
Because I saw it pop up here.
Oh, I'm a little bit delayed. Hold on. Mm, that was this in Australia. The formal name was put on an upmarket version of the Falcon, one step above the Futura.
Mm,
Futura. Jay says, no, he's talking to Will. I'm sorry. There are three people from New York State.
yeah.
Chris says, gotta go, folks, in the middle of doing some house painting. We'll try to stop back later.
Okay.
Have fun, Chris.
Don't get too high on the paint, Chris.
Long Range Rush says, I had a two-door Mercury Zephyr automatic on the floor. I swapped the factory six-cylinder to a 1970 302. That thing was quick.
Was it the low roof model, the Z7, like Buff has, or was it the box top Lone Wrench?
And Jay says, is it like Cuba? Sorry. Jay says, is it like Cuba? Well, Cuba is an island and it's pretty small. So I'm gonna
So
go with no.
no, they have rust problems there.
I don't know the situation on Cuba. Sorry. Bob the Campo says, "What is that place with all the trucks?"
That was not an advertisement, but it was a picture of showing them building the carryalls, how they cut them up and how they were converting them. So it's really hard to find pictures like that, but I have it saved.
Long Range says, "Cool vintage. What day are you heading to the NNN?"
No Name
To the
Nationals.
No Mames?
Huh?
To the No Mames? Yes, yes, they call it that.
No.
Yes,
It's the No Name
it's the
Nationals.
No Mames.
No.
That's what it says. Well, the trail says, speaking of cars, I just got back from taking my 1985 Mustang GT convertible for a nice cruise. I came across a Mustang Eleanor and we revved our engines to each other. Were you communicating?
I had when I lived in Vegas, I had an '86 GT convertible 5-speed, white with a black top. It was a very capable car. Really nice condition too. Had to put a new top on it, but you always do. They only made Mustangs in Mexico until 1984. That's when the government outlawed V8 engines in passenger cars, so they couldn't make a Mustang anymore.
Vintage says he'll be heading to NNN on that Thursday.
Hey, Vintage, can I ask what your name is? If you don't
Okay.
want to say, that's fine.
Lone says vintage. I'm in Southwest Missouri, still 233 miles from
Sykeston.
Sexton.
That's a cruise.
And vintage is 500 miles from Sexton. Jay says, with the old cars from the 1950s. Lone says, you should go, fun. Hey, Jay, go. Send me some pictures.
Jay, why did you um what did you say? What would you say that was?
What?
He linked me or something in his video?
Tag.
Tagged. Why did you tag me in your video about Tony and that other guy?
Just for you to know about the video. You tag people for them to know, hey, I put up a video, come watch
Oh,
it.
I don't do that.
No, but
the,
you're
the,
not a good YouTuber.
the listing would be really long.
Mm. Tavo says it's getting warm here now. It's up to 3 degrees. Oh my god. 3 degrees. I'll be
Well,
freezing.
they're coming into winter time there. Or coming out of winter time. If we're in summer, they're in winter.
Will says, I forgot, from 1980 through 1984, how much power did the Mexican Spec 302 make?
That's a very good question. If Dean Stevenson comes in here, he'll have an answer to that. There is almost no information on these cars online, so I don't know. I don't have that number for you.
Jay says, 3 degrees Fahrenheit sounds like a buffalo winter. I don't think he meant what Fahrenheit, darling.
No.
Vintage says, my name is Tanner. It's been on my jacket in a few videos, so no big deal.
Okay, well, I couldn't assume that's your name because people wear other people's jackets sometimes.
Fair. Do we know a Tanner? Not in person, but like,
There's one that it's a race car driver, and he was on the U.S. Um, Top Gear.
mm,
Most recently saw him driving one of the wheezing 2000 new Chargers with a 6 cylinder, doing donuts around Tim Kaniskas in the Roadkill Nights. Tanner Faust.
um, Jay says, Missouri is too far away. I thought you could get involved too.
Just get on a bus on Wednesday. Get there on Thursday for the dinner. It's fine. You don't have to drive.
Tavo confirms it's 3 degrees Celsius.
Mm.
Lon says, Vintage, we are leaving Tuesday and staying at a local campground until Thursday morning to the No Name Nationals grounds.
And then going to dinner at the restaurant.
Yep.
Don't put your arm up. Don't put your hand up in the air. They'll throw a roll at your head.
Mike says, trying to suck you into the drama vortex. Vintage says, long range. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Long range. I need at least 2 days at work that week, so I couldn't head out that early.
Mm.
Will says, I also heard about the Mexican Spec 351 Windsor. There's no information on that engine either.
No, I had that engine in a station wagon that I had, a '73 country sedan, and it had plenty of power. And the original color is gold. They painted the engines gold here. But yeah, they had them in the Mustangs. They had them in quite a few vehicles. But everybody wants the Mexican 302. The drag racers really look for them because supposedly the nickel content in the block makes the engine a lot stronger. It can handle a lot more power.
Barracuda is here.
Hey Barry, Gouda, welcome.
It says the worst tires I've ever knew of was a set of Remington Steels that put them on his BH Valiant, and pretty quickly they all developed bubbles in the sidewalls.
Why would they call them that? I wonder who came first, the character or the tire.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say the character came first.
I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
TV show.
I assumed.
Pierce Brosnan was the character. Was the actor that played that.
Jay says, interesting topic with Tony and Danny from Powell Machine. Danny Solis has Smokey's old hot vapor engine with knurled pistons. Could be good for everyone.
Yeah, my question was when you knurl the piston and you only have a tip touching the cylinder wall, doesn't it score the cylinder wall? Isn't that what you don't want? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's not going to ride on top of the oil, the film of oil.
I like that I know how to pronounce these words, but I don't know what they mean.
Fine.
Lone says, Vintage, we are pre camping so we can make sure we can boondock okay at the track. Boondock? I don't know
Mm-hmm.
that one.
And there's always the last minute thing that the car's gonna need before you get it on the track. So you're giving yourself a lot of time to get those taken care of.
Lester says, I'm curious to know the Mexican 302 horsepower also. Maybe we can ask Dean or Bob's live on Tuesday if he's in there.
Or maybe he'll come in here before the time's up.
And Jay says, plus I mentioned you in my video, Mex. Obviously, you didn't watch it.
I did watch it, not all the way through, I don't think, but because I got a notification that I was tagged in the video twice, two different videos.
Mm, Lone says, "You bet, Max." Not a question.
Something always goes wrong with the car at the last minute.
Mhm. Buff says, "Old TV show and a good show."
Hmm.
You say so? I don't know.
Yeah, he just sticks in my head because the guy that used to sell me hearses and I was a friend of his real job was cleaning pools in the Hollywood Hills. And I went with him to Pierce Brosnan's house one day to help him clean the pool there. And it was a really weird up in the Hollywood Hills, and they have a pool. So the edge of the pool is right at the cliff, and the pool equipment, you have to go down a ladder onto the side of the hill where the pool equipment was to do any servicing. I'm like, no, you can do that. I'm not doing that. See you later. It was a very interesting house though, with an interesting history of who owned it before.
Long Range says, "Max, we have a Lambert's 30 me MI from US, so we know about getting beamed in the head with a roll."
Well, I assume that the rolls later in the night are much harder than the ones earlier that are softer that just came out of the oven. So
Mm.
I figure there's more danger the longer you stay there. And it's Lone Wrench, by the way.
Yeah, Long Range.
Okay.
That's what I said. Well, the trail says, "It sounds like the Mexican 302 can handle more than 500 horsepower. And the US 302 can't handle more than 500 horsepower. You need block braces to keep it from splitting in half."
Mm. Well, the drag racers would know about that. They've been messing with them for quite a few years now. But yeah, they're in all of the Mustangs, Fairmonts, the Crown Victoria. I think had the 302 in it. I think could have had the 351, but because the full size cars in the 70s had the 351 along with the Mustangs. I guess they went to the 302 like 74 with the Mustang too.
Jay says, "I think it works like the buttons Tony talked about in his Nitro days."
Yeah, but when you knurl it, it's like a sliver sticking out, right? Unless I don't know what knurl means.
Mike says, "Boondocks means out in the middle of nowhere. I live out in the boondocks." Oh, thank you.
Mm.
Bob says, "Nice matador." Matador. I can't say it. In English, it just sounds weird.
Matador.
Matador.
So say it how you want
Yeah, but my brain isn't speaking English, so it wants to translate it. To me, sounds weird. Long range says, "Same here, Mike." Will the Trail says, "Oh, do you know any BAM cars, which is the Mexican spec AMC cars?"
Yes, I have a lot of them listed. And if they had any value at all, I would be specializing in those cars. There's still some really nice Gremlins. There's Americans, which were Concords. We didn't get any of the four-wheel drive cars, but the one that Buff really likes is the what we call a classic AMX. It's the two headlight Matador like you saw up there, the beige one. That was a Matador AMX, which was never, of course, never sold in the U.S. and does, of course, has the six-cylinder under the hood. We didn't have any AMC V8s in Mexico at all. All the Javelins also came with six cylinders.
Barracuda says, "Those Remington steels were available about the same time as the TV show. I think they were probably locally made."
Oh, so one didn't steal from the other, but you never know if the when the TV show was popular. Name recognition. Hmm?
Jay says, "Next was some guy's pool boy. Couldn't you have been L. McPherson's pool boy? That would have been a way better story."
No, I was not a pool boy. I was helping the pool man. I actually didn't do anything. I didn't clean a pool or anything. I was just looking around the backyard.
You were just
And he,
being
he was
nosy.
telling me all kinds of stories about the different people that he knew, what kind of attitudes they really have um, towards the people that work for them. But it was a really weird house up in the hills. And who the hell has a pool up in the hills? Because he didn't have a lot of property. But Not a place I'd want to live.
Jay says, Mrs. Beck, your English pronunciation is pretty impressive, actually.
Most of it.
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Uno's here. Hi, Una.
Hey, Uno.
It says, Hola from the Great White El Norte, Edmonton, Alberta. Now everybody say it with me. Did the lady get her churro? ¿Cómo se dice? Cheapskate.
Not yet. We haven't been out to that. I found where they're selling them, but every time we go out there, she wants corn. She doesn't want.
I'll trade you the churro for corn. How about that? It's easier to get. It's closer.
It's at the same place.
They sell corn over here too.
Oh well, I'm talking about over there at the park,
Oh,
La Plaza.
we can go. We can have several things. You know, we
And if
don't
it
have to.
wasn't for Gustavo, that I wouldn't have known where they're actually selling it.
We can have more than one thing. It's fine.
Very sweet churro with the chili on the corn. I don't know. I can't eat either of them, so it's all for you.
Yep.
I'll get it for her, but I will.
You'll get something for me.
That's my black car with a nice interior. And I don't know why the seat is sitting like that, because when we got it, the seat wouldn't stay back like that.
Mm.
And ask Mrs. Spec if the seatbelt worked on her side.
It did not.
All the way home.
That wasn't fun. I was really stressed.
But we've been in other vehicles with no seatbelts.
Not before that one.
No, this was the first one.
That was well, we're talking about 302s. I've seen questions about the Aussie 302 Cleveland. That was just this. Sorry, excuse me. That was just this stroke 351, very ordinary performing engine.
Okay, so it was made in Cleveland, Ohio? Or why did they call it Cleveland?
Aussie 302 Cleveland. Javelina, not Javelin.
Just Javelin. They didn't change the names.
No. Well, mostly.
Well, yeah. On the when you bought a Jeep Renegade here, it said Renegado
Yeah.
on the hood, but that's not the name of the vehicle. That's just the name of the pack, the sticker they put on there.
Yeah. Will the Trail says, I've read that the Mexican AMX ran up to 1983. Too bad none of them came with V8s.
Well, we didn't really have an AMX model. It was an AMX package on the Matador, but there was never a 2-seat AMX here. This car you're looking at, the black one, that is a 1983 Spirit that was brought into Mexico, and then they made it into that. They painted it. They put the sticker package on it, which is $600 for that sticker package, and the wheels and everything else. So they made it what it is. It's not, and it's an automatic. It's not a stick shift.
Long Range says, yes, just south of the Springfield, Missouri. All the buses stop there going to Branson, Missouri for vacation. I think they're talking with each other about locations. Jay says, did you cross houses with the Pullman mix?
No, even though he was as gay as they come. That's not the relationship I had with him. No.
Wait, who was it?
Paul.
Ah.
Who was no longer with us.
Long Range says, Megs, do you have any gremlins?
Who asked?
Long Range. Long Range.
They're all over Mexico, from fixer-uppers to really, really, really nice cars, well taken care of original cars. And keep in mind that very few were sold here. They never sold more than, I think, 6,000 cars a year during that time. They never sold in any model year for the Gremlin. They never sold more than 6,000 in a year. So to have so many that are still around is just amazing in all kinds of conditions. I don't have one personally. What I have, that Spirit, is the successor to the Gremlin. They made it a little bit bigger, made it a hatchback. I don't know if you noticed from the rear view, they put the spoiler on there from the factory, and it covers up the keyhole for the hatch. So there's no way to get into the hatch from the outside. There's a button in the glove box you have to push to open the hatch. That's the only way to get in there. They didn't make any holes like they did on the big fender Javelins. They put that big fin on the back, but they cut out a hole for the key back there.
Uno says maíz, not corn. It's actually esquite because it's uh, my
Mixed with a whole bunch of stuff.
yeah, it's the way that it's made. It's called esquite. And he says tajin churro. You no. Will the Trail says nice BAM classic AMX. And Jay says, hey, I live near one of the most famous Albertans. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, the Niagara Falls.
Mm.
Jay says yes, Cleveland made and Windsor was Windsor, Ontario.
Hmm.
Bob Del Campo says it's illegal to drive with blue headlights in Mexico.
That's hard to say because they don't really care about anything here. They don't they don't stop you for equipment violations.
Unless they want
Um,
money.
I've seen yellow headlights. I've seen blue. They don't really care. There's motorcycles riding around that have police lights on them, blue and red flashing lights. Nobody cares.
The
They just
only thing that I've seen that they to enforce is the window tinting.
yeah, the window tinting, which is a danger to them because they can't see who's driving the vehicle.
Yeah.
My friend got stopped. He stupidly had his Toyota Camry or whatever it was tinted dark windows, and they stopped him, and they actually went. They took the tint off themselves. They started taking the tint off themselves instead of just giving an infraction. They just ripped the tint off the window. So
Yeah. Tabo says Cleveland engines cast down under, so exact replica of the Cleveland made ones. We just made cranks and rods to reduce them to 302. So it was a Cleveland design.
okay,
Uno says the Cleveland and Windsor both built in the respective namesake cities but had different heads. Now ask me why. I don't know. Only answer to churros about churros.
you sure are hyper focused on churros.
Lone Range says vintage. I'm getting close to 466 now. I would love to have a gremlin with a back glass intact.
But the Gremlins came out in Mexico in 1974. We didn't get the 1970 through 73. And the story on that is the government limited the dealerships from selling more than 3 different models on the lot at the time. So when the Javelin went out of production, they started selling the Gremlin. I don't know if that's true. It's you can't find any of that online anywhere. So, oh, here's the this one here on the screen. This this Wagoneer has a Ford 302 under the hood, and I have 2 people that want this, but I'm trying to get the customs agent to answer me because there's some rule about the vehicle crossing having to have its original engine. So if that's not actually true, there's this one, and then there's a Grand Wagoneer with the wood on the side that has a 351 Windsor in it. So I've got people that want to buy these engine switched vehicles, but I'm not sure if we can cross them. I'm waiting for him to tell me.
Will says, didn't the Mexican 302 continue into trucks after 1984 or no?
Yeah, they were in trucks. The carryall that I sold to a guy in Arizona has a Mexican 302, and he showed me how to identify it's a Mexican 302 by the design of the front of the block.
Mm.
So yeah, I can identify it now when it's in the vehicle.
Barracuda says, is the 302 Cleveland any more economical to run than the 351?
Oh, you don't really run those V8 engines for fuel economy, especially when you're probably accelerating a lot and revving at people at signal lights.
Uno says, white or blue or purple LWG, 3 for sale near me.
What is LWG?
I don't know. You're the one that knows car stuff.
There's Wagoneer. Well, he has to tell us what it is.
Uno, what is LWG? Sorry. Uh, mm, sorry, they're talking with themselves. Long Range says, I'm pronounced that weird, don't I?
Lone Wrench.
Yeah, I'm
You're saying range.
yeah, but I'm trying to, but I'm not trying to. Like it's just
How
weird.
about llave solitario? Solitario.
No, long range. I just anyway. I can't find a gremlin anywhere close to me. If I do, the glass is busted out. The rear hatch glass is like impossible to find.
But are you talking about the early ones that had the flip up hatch? Because most of them here have the bigger tail lights and the bigger rear hatch window. So there's very few of the earlier cars with the smaller tail lights here. There was one U.S. car here. It's probably still for sale.
Someone is answering about the trio to Cleveland being a more economical to run than 351. Tabo says not really. Have to work it a little harder to perform the same. 351 was better on fuel when towing.
Well, yeah, it had more power.
Jay says 120 degrees and things are illegal for safety reasons. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
yeah.
It's ridiculous, but they want to know who's in that vehicle or how many people are in that vehicle. It's the same reason that tint is illegal in Arizona and all that stuff really dark. The police want to know who's driving that vehicle.
Uno says, what would name your boogie band and paint on the side? Freak Andy or Talta Danza? I don't know what it is.
I don't think I would name it either of those. The name
Why
would
Freak
depend on
Andy?
the design that's on the van. The
Hmm.
van would have to name itself.
Yep. Arctic Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Long range says Uno, I would consider any color. White would be my least favorite. Barracuda says, is it warming up where you are, Tabo? The temperatures drop here. Warming up? Question marks. Um,
They're in Australia, New
yeah,
Zealand, so it's winter time there.
yeah, but warming up
We're
at
we're
3 degrees.
we're in an air conditioned bedroom, and I'm still sweating. So you're talking about is it warming up?
Mm-hmm. Long range says the purple or blue would be the most interested in. I'd be the most interested in. Where are you located? I don't know if you're talking to Uno still or me. Long range. I think to me. LGW look on Kijiji dot California.
Canada.
Oh, Canada. Sorry, I work for California, so
LW is usually long wheelbase.
am I gonna find something dirty?
Hopefully not.
Should I look it up?
No.
I was gonna look it up there. He was gonna come up in the screen. Anyway, I'll try and look it up later. Write it down. Dabo says, Barracuda eyes on the cars when I wake up, and now up to a warm 3 degrees. And Lon says, yes, the one with the glass hatchback.
Remember, it's early morning for them right
Yeah,
now.
that's it. He told me it was like 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
6, 7.
7:49.
Mm, yeah, they say temperature is still around 12 to 15 degrees. Uno says LWG is long range garage.
Mm. I thought we were talking about Jeeps.
What? I'm so confused.
Okay, it's between them then.
Okay. Lester says, Mex, when you have time, can you please send me the details on the front that shows it's a Mexican 302?
Okay.
Write it down.
You're gonna have to send me a picture of the front of your engine, and I'll point out what the identifying mark is because I don't have one here.
Mm, Uno
But it has to be
says,
with a lot of light because it's just a little part that's protruding from the front of the from front of the engine.
Uno is the Lone Range and his trusty psychic churro.
So Uno, once I get Mrs. Spec churro, what are you gonna be all about after that?
Yeah.
It can't be a second churro because she doesn't really like sweet things.
I can't eat them. I can't have
See,
sweet
I got
things.
lucky. I got lucky with my wife and my son. Neither of them like sweet things, so all of my chocolate, my sugary cereal, everything in the house is safe. They won't touch it. I know that.
Hmm. He yells around the house like, "Who ate my chocolate?" I said, "Well, you know, nobody here did, so I
Yeah.
don't know what you're talking about." If Jay says, "I have illegal tents here in New York," ándale pues.
I don't like tint either.
Vintage doesn't tint his cars.
I bought a brand new 93 Escort GT from a Ford dealer in Las Vegas. The windows were dark. Rear windows, side windows, the rear side windows, everything was dark. So I drove it up to my apartment in Oregon and I left early morning because I was going to head to the Idaho Auto Auction. It is snowing outside. It's really dark. I couldn't see out of the car. I couldn't see anything out of the car. And it was, it was at dusk or dawn. Couldn't see anything out of the car, so I had to take the tint off the windows. It was dangerous. I don't like tint on windows.
Tabo says, "Dark tint is sort of illegal down under because it's one more thing they can fine you for."
Well, yeah, they want to get your money.
Will says, "Are there any Mexican spec 4 Crown Victorias from 1979 and up?"
There are, but the majority of them are Grand Marquis that are Ford Grand Marquis. They're not. There were a few Crown Victorias here too, but most of them are the Ford Grand Marquis.
Barracuda says, "Have you ever visited New Zealand, Tabo?" Isn't Tabo from New Zealand?
No, he's in Australia.
Sorry. Um, Jay says, "If this Banza is rocking, don't bother knocking." It's a good name.
Mm. It's too long though.
Bob Del Campo says, "Same as Lester. When you have time, it will. I would like to see the way you ID a Mexican trio too."
Yeah, I just need a picture from the front of one. Maybe I can find one online here.
Vintage says, "Kijiji is a Canadian car sale site, from what I can understand." Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
eBay or Craigslist or something up there.
Jay says 7 tomorrow. Yeah, the time. Yeah, that in Australia.
Hmm.
7 tomorrow.
Yeah, they live in the future.
Uno says, "I like that little ketchup packet Malibu Coupe."
Looks orange to me. It doesn't look red.
Well, there's cheap ketchup. He didn't say there was Heinz or anything. He just said
Mm,
ketchup.
well, that would be katsu.
Ah, bueno, pues. Lester says, "Thanks, I'll send a photo." Uno says, "Ceviche."
I don't even want to be around that stuff. I don't like the smell of it. Way too much fish for me.
Uno, how about watermelon? I like watermelon.
It is watermelon season
It
here.
is too.
There's watermelon everywhere.
Jay says, "Chevy churros are awesome."
Chevy churros.
Cherry churros. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I just
here's the
you're,
Matador AMX on the screen.
you're talking about cars so much. Just like I saw the word and I was like, obviously that's Chevy. Obviously, cherry churros are awesome. Cherry, I guess with cherry syrup. I've never had them. I don't think
Or put
so.
the cherry inside.
No. I don't think I've ever had it with cherry syrup. Cherry. What do you call it? Compote. Compote.
I don't
Compost.
know.
I don't remember.
The jelly.
Will says, "I have a lot to learn about Mexican spec American cars. I'm so glad you're doing this to answer my questions."
Well, whatever I can do, send me a message and I'll try my best to get the information. It's not easy to find it.
Lone Range says, "Can't say I've ever had a churro, so I'll have to try one." If you like sweet things, they're really nice.
Hmm.
I'm not really a fan
And
of
if you
sweet
can eat
things.
deep fried things,
Yeah,
because it is deep fried.
yeah. Dabo answers to Barry saying, "No, never left these shores, not even been overseas to Tasmania."
Too many devils over there.
Overseas.
Too many devils over there.
Ándale pues. Jay says, I have tint so no one can see me driving a Mitsubishi Mirage.
Don't be embarrassed about that. It's a good car.
It is a good car.
Yeah. All those little entry level cars will last forever.
Uno says, in Hawaii, you used to be able to have the windshield tinted and dark
Why?
because it's hot.
There's nothing to hit on the island.
Because it's hot, I guess. I don't know how hot Hawaii gets.
Well, there's water all around it, so
Yeah,
it's
but there's places that are
out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Pacific Ocean. Okay, that helps. Buff says my Z7 windows were so dark it was hard to see out the back when in the daytime.
Well, the back I don't mind because like the Durango, it has the rear windows are dark, but when I look out the side window and I can't see anything, that worries me. On that same night, that same morning when I drove to the auction, as the sun was coming up in the center of the highway, there were like three Jeep Grand Cherokee type vehicles that were on their roofs, and there were people sitting on the chassis waiting for a tow truck to show up because they were very confident in their four-wheel drive and just they lost control, ended up on the roof in the center. I don't take chances in the snow or the ice in my dark car.
Barracuda says I've only been to the North Island 3 times. 3 times more than me.
Hmm.
Will says I'm wondering if the Ford Grammar Key from the 80s was available with the 351 Windsor.
I don't know, but I can look at some publications and see what engine they list as being in there. I'm not sure that they continued the 351 because it was in the mid 70s cars, and then they started using the 302 and everything in the smaller cars. So I'm gonna have to also look up what years the bigger car was sold here.
Says I'm hopping out, guys. Y'all have fun.
See you later, Tanner. We'll see you soon.
Uno says frozen watermelon.
Frozen.
Frozen.
Nothing gets frozen here.
With a watermelon, yes, it's full of water.
Yes, but you can't go out and buy frozen watermelon
No, but you
anywhere.
can bring it and to the freezer.
I don't have room in my freezer.
I have one in mine. Lone Ranch says, see you later, vintage. Barracuda says, I used to tint windows for a job. I didn't like it. Not fun.
Mm-mm.
Uno says, because on some islands there's little to no shade on the roads, full sun all day.
Mm, that makes sense. Not that a lot of people drive around.
Lester says, is there Mexican sales literature for the elite?
I I can look. I've seen every once in a while you'll see a brochure pop up, but I'll have to do a search for it for the Fairmont.
Brad Hudson is here.
Brad?
Brad
Hello,
Hudson.
Brad.
And it says, what is involved in importing a vehicle to Canada?
What would happen would be the buyer would be, or one of your representatives would need to cross it into the United States. It would not be imported into the U.S. It would just be crossed with the bill of sale from the Mexican ownership documents to the person that's crossing it. They cross it into the U.S. and you can drive it or transport it to the Canadian border, and then you have to follow their rules to get it into Canada. I'm working with a guy right now that wants a 2003 Volkswagen Beetle, and I found the car that he likes, but he's contacting Canadian customs to see what would be involved in getting the car into the country, because the rule in Canada is 15 years old, which means all of the Beetles can be imported. Right now, I can only import into the U.S. a 2000 model, and starting tomorrow, maybe a 2001 if it was made late August um, in 2000, depending on the year. The date of manufacture is what they go by when they're talking about the import process.
Lone Range says, see everybody later. Makes thanks for the live. We'll be back.
Okay.
Thank you, Lone
We'll
Range.
see you soon.
Um, and Tabo says, isn't that what glasses are for? Dark glasses? Sunglasses?
Of course.
For
But who wants to spend money on sunglasses when they can just put
tint
tint
on
on
the
their
window.
windows?
Besides, sunglasses don't cover your arms from burning.
Yeah, well, long sleeves do.
Yeah. Jay says, I love the watermelon soda Epcot
Epcot.
at Disney World.
How many times have you been there, Jay? I've been there once and I don't remember anything that I had to drink there. I remember other things, but I don't remember that. Of course, it was 1989.
Mm. Oops, sorry.
What kind of vehicle would you be looking at, Brad, if I may ask?
Uno says, Mexi Spec ballpark, a few cars prices for me, and solid 95% rust free but needs interior and or mechanicals. 70 to 74 Challenger slash Barracuda, 67 to 68 Mercury Cougar, 65 to 66 Mustang Fastback, and Dune Buggy Volkswagen.
The only thing we have in Mexico on those lists are dune buggies, but it's not going to be the Myers Manx or anything. The rest of it wasn't sold here.
Yeah, they're not Mexican.
No, none of those were made in Mexico. There were 65 and 66 Mustangs, but no fastbacks. They were all coupes and all V8 cars. No six cylinders were ever sold in Mexico in a Mustang ever until now. I guess they do four cylinders and all the rest of that stuff now.
Tabo says, Mexican Spec, I looked into sending you a carburetor for the Slant 6. Can't believe 140 Australian dollars for such a small parcel.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it.
yeah,
We
prices are
can't.
crazy.
I haven't heard anything about our postal service. We can't. I can't send anything anywhere
Our
right now.
postal service is closed right now.
Yeah, the international. Well, to the U.S. I don't know about other countries. Only to the U.S. and Tavo said from there too.
Aussie made Carter RBS.
Okay.
Brad Hudson says, I was just curious. I am into late 60s and early 70s cars and trucks. Your stuff seems rust free.
Oh, it most of it is rust free, and amazingly enough, like the dusters and stuff like that, the darts, they're and Mrs. Speck doesn't like this word, but they're unmolested. Nobody has ripped radios out. Nobody has redone the electrical system. Nobody's painted it 500 times. It's just a very honest car. And if you start with that, then you get a much nicer car down the road.
Barracuda says, did Carter have a factory in Australia? I don't know. That was it, Barry. Did Carter have a factory in Australia? Jay says 5 times, 3 with the Coca-Cola building in Epcot, with soda from around the world.
Mm. They have the same thing in Las Vegas, so I never had to go to Florida to go to the Coca Cola thing. They have the whole Coca Cola thing right on the strip there.
Jay says, if you had it, you will remember the watermelon soda is sold in China.
I don't like watermelon, so I never would have had it. I cannot remember where we ate. I can't remember any of that stuff. I was there with a friend of mine. I do remember one little story that I won't get into here, but it's only because his stepdaughter is really famous and he started talking about her, and this little girl that was near us on when we were getting on the ride, she was she wanted to sit near him because of his stepdaughter, and we're getting off the ride and he says, I really hate kids. I said, well, then stop telling everybody who she is, then the other kids wouldn't bother you. Cause and effect.
Lester says, rust free except for some of those pheromones you looked at for me.
Yeah, well, if you look at a well cared for car, then Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously that one that had the Bluetooth roof is still for sale for exactly the same price. He ain't coming off his price for nothing. But I would really like to get the one that I showed you, that the chamois is what they called it, the color, that really weird color that
The one
had
in
the
Durango?
the is it Durango? No, it's not in Durango. It's in Guanajuato. That has the rear end noise. Had the rear end noise.
Norman.
Yeah, because he lowered it like 40,000 pesos, the price, which means with that amount of money, you could easily put a brand new rear end in the car. So it would take care of the problem because it's a
Norman.
really nice looking car.
We went to Durango to get the Fairmont.
Right.
We didn't went to Guanajuato.
We were
We
going
were
to.
going to go to
Yeah.
Guanajuato. Sorry.
Like this Duster right here, baby blue, wheel covers, the hubcaps are still there. Everything is exactly like it was when it came out of the factory. Nobody's messed with anything on this car except a little piece out of the grill there.
Tabo answered to Barry, says made here under license by email, the parent company of Electrolux and Westinghouse.
Electrolux was a vacuum cleaner.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Granddad's junk is here.
Hey, Granddad, welcome.
Lester says I still like chamois Fairmont.
The chamois Fairmont.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still there and nobody wants it, I guess. But it looks really good with the color coded turbine wheels. Really nice. If I had an extra whatever he wants for it now, I would go get it, bring it back here.
Jay's upset because you don't like watermelon. You will be surprised the amount of things that he doesn't like.
I don't eat fruits or vegetables.
Yeah, he like he eats like one or two vegetables. Fruits, none of them.
No. Well, grape jelly.
Jellies, yeah, jellies, but that's about
Mm-hmm.
it. He won't eat grapes. Forget about it. Um, he eats potatoes and sometimes carrots, and if they're boiled, that's it.
Yeah, that's no, not a carrot thing.
Jay says you don't know Rust until you have lived in the Rust Belt.
Mm-hmm.
Where's where is the Rust Belt?
The middle of the country. It's
Mm,
cold. They use salt on the roads. Cars last 5 to 7 years. That's it. Like Kim keeps telling us in every live where she lived in Pennsylvania, she's never seen any of these cars.
Bob says cabbage, like coleslaw. Do you like cabbage?
No,
He doesn't like anything with
they
potatoes,
try. They
darling.
the place I went to in Mazatlan. He's like, and it comes with coleslaw. I'm like, no, do not put that on my plate. I asked my son, do you want it? No, no, I don't want that. That was very big in all the Jewish meals and stuff. There was always coleslaw around. No, no thanks.
Chris says, okay, I'm back. Did I miss anything important or has Miguel been talking this whole time?
Me talking? I have to answer I have to answer the comments. I can't just stay quiet here.
Lester says he likes coleslaw too. I don't particularly like
If I had,
coleslaw.
if the post office was working, I would send it all to you.
I don't particularly like coleslaw because it's slightly sweet. I don't like sweet
That depends how it's
stuff.
made.
Yeah, the only coleslaw that I've tried, it's sweet, and I don't like sweet stuff. Like food, like when it's supposed to be a food, like a not a food, but like a lunch, if that makes sense.
This carryall right now that you're looking at is now in New York. They're rebuilding the whole thing, redoing it all. That was a chore to drive. No power steering, no power brakes.
Buff says he almost lives on coleslaw, like out of coleslaw. Like that's his main meal.
Really? Who makes that for you, or do you buy it ready made?
I eat salads most of all, but I don't really like coleslaw.
Isn't
Um,
cabbage the same as kale, or is that a different thing?
that's different.
Is it?
Yes.
Or did they just change the name to make themselves look smarter?
No, it's different.
Hmm. I don't know what
I'll,
tail is
I'll,
then.
I'll point it out to you next time we go to the store. Jay says Westinghouse, plant in Buffalo, New York, was at the airport and was the old Curtis Wright plant that made P-40s and World War II for World War II. Barracuda says, "Remember KFC had potato salad?
They don't anymore?
They have potato mashed potatoes, no potato salad."
Well, they had potato salad too. It was one of the sides you could choose.
Ah, I don't know. I like potato salad sometimes when
What
it's
I
not
know is that
sweet.
even though I can't eat KFC, what I used to do in Las Vegas was for lunch I would go to KFC, get 20 nuggets. That would be my lunch. Filled me up for the rest of the day. They don't sell nuggets in Mexico. Those were the perfect with the original coating on it, the original breading on it. Those were the perfect nugget. They don't sell them in Mexico.
They sell
It's not on the menu.
they sell tenders, but not
No,
nuggets.
tenders is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Completely. Very different product. I'd also go to Wendy's and get the nuggets there. Yellow man.
Lester says coleslaw doesn't have to be sweet. Well, that's good, but I have never tried. But since I don't really look for it,
Oh,
the
you make it buff.
the coleslaw that I've tried from restaurants and stuff has always been sweet, and I don't like it. Yeah, Buff makes his own coleslaw.
What is the liquid that you put in there?
The liquid, this the dressing, you mean?
Well, whatever is
Dressing,
it's liquid. It's
dressing.
liquid in there.
Yeah, it's dressing.
I don't know.
It's
That's
dressing.
why I'm asking because I don't know.
It's called dressing. Yeah, they're talking about each other. Jay says, "Yes, I have." Yes, I'm sorry. The Curtis Museum. They've been to the Curtis Museum. Davos says, I'd eat a lot more coleslaw, etc., but I'm too lazy to make it. I make my own salads, and it is a lot of freaking work. Gosh, it's just too much. Which reminds me, I have to make that all today.
Hmm.
I have to get it ready for
You
the week.
still have a lot of stuff to do today.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there's Tony's live tonight.
Ah, yeah, because that that stops me from making my food.
Well, it's what I have to do, and I have to clean up the backyard, and we have to clean up in front too.
Buff del Campo says, I add a little salt to my slaw instead of sugar. I can't have sugar. Um, I don't know. I'll have to test it to try it. Barry says the New Zealand Air Force had a lot of P-40s. Kitty Hawks. Jay says my daughter was just in your town and left an hour ago on her way back to college. Which town?
Not this town.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
Mean Street Moper is here.
Hey Ken, how are you?
He says, "What's up, everyone?" Tabo says, "Not sure what KFC do to the chicken down here, but I feel rather sick about an hour after eating it."
I always did too, and I never knew why. But apparently, I was less than tolerant of gluten my whole life. So yeah, I would get sick, always get sick on KFC, but I had to go back and get it for whatever reason. But here, all around us, they sell roasted chickens. You know, a complete chicken that's roasted. So then they cut it up, and that's really good.
Pop del Campo says, "I use a mix of Hughes coleslaw dressing and mayonnaise."
There's a special coleslaw
I
dressing.
guess.
Huh.
Lester says, "Mexican Spec coleslaw live."
No, thank you. Not here.
Jay says, 20 nuggets for lunch.
Yes, I was running around. I never had breakfast. I'd be out. I'd have lunch like 3 p.m. and that would keep me going until I got home for dinner.
You should see a picture of him when he was in that age. He was like freaking skinny.
No,
Like,
that was when I was working at the Chevy dealer.
when were you working on back then?
In Vegas, I was a little bit heavier, but I had a 29-inch waist when I was working at the Chevy dealer because I was running all day long down the street to the body shop and back to the main street and then down to the corner where they were prepping the new cars and back here and running the cars back to service and back, and all day long I was running around getting cars done for the customers at night, to deliver them back at the end of the day.
Jay says, I make my grandmother's coleslaw recipe. It has Miracle Whip and bread and butter pickle juice. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. Barracuda says, America supplied us with what we needed in World War II. When that first went to Fiji, they didn't have enough bullets until America started supplying them.
Okay.
Jay says, Rochester by Chris.
Rochester,
Rochester?
the city
Rochester
in New York.
Town by Chris.
Oh, by Chris. Okay.
Buffalo Campos says, G. Hughes dressing has zero carbs and it tastes good, unlike most zero carb stuff.
How
Mm,
much do you make at one time, Buff?
how
Is
much?
it like a lot for enough for a whole week, or just serving by serving?
Chris says, they called us the arsenal of democracy for a reason. Mm, and then she says, was she driving through or did she come here for a reason? Uh, Jay's daughter was driving by to Rochester's town, like where Chris lives.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're both in New York.
Okay.
I knew it wasn't here. She wouldn't come here. That's for sure.
Hmm,
I wonder if the chat can hear my neck cracking.
maybe. Buff says, I make a huge bowl of coleslaw almost every day and I eat it all because I can't stop.
Mm. Well, as long as it's healthy and it doesn't mess with your diet.
Yeah.
I do the same thing with vanilla and chocolate pudding, Buff.
Oh, yeah. Stop
Actually,
that.
I didn't eat the whole thing. I ate some and then I put it back in the refrigerator.
Yeah, I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for my bowl. And Tabo says, what's the Datsun called there? Mexican Spec.
What's that? What?
The Datsun called.
It's called a bluebird. I think it was a bluebird everywhere. Then
Mm,
after that, they went to the 68. They went to the Datsun 510, which of course you and I know as a different model in our respective countries.
Barracuda says they also supplied him with Lucky Strikes, Coca Cola, and Hershey bars. Lucky Strikes are cigarettes, right?
Yes.
Mm, okay. You're sweating?
No, there's no cushion here. It hurts.
Ah, I.
I'm
Mm,
gonna put my pillow here.
okay.
It is hurting. Ugh, a little bit better. Now
That's
my
why I
pillow's
like
gonna
my.
be all sweaty.
That's why I like my chair.
Mm-hmm.
Tabo says same as here. Yeah, just Bluebird, not numbers.
They didn't get to numbers yet. I wonder what that conversation was at Nissan. Those Americans need numbers. Let's do the 510. Let's do the 240Z. Then we go to 610. There was an F10. There was an actual 110, which was the little Datsun. 210, 310. I don't think there was a 410, 510, 610, 710, 810. The 910 went into, or the 810 became the Maxima. Hmm. Lots of Datsun stuff. It wasn't called that here. It's called a 160J here.
Lester says I think we had a Datsun EL410 in the U.S. in the early '60s. No
Yeah,
Bluebird.
that was the number that was under the hood, but everybody called them Bluebirds.
Buff del Campo says I really miss cars with names. I don't like all the numbers and letters.
It's harder to keep track of them
Yeah.
or to create any kind of connection. Kind of like Z7. Kind of hard to make a connection with Z7. When it should be called a Zephyr. I'm like looking at that picture. My eyes go blurry.
Mm. They're really fast.
This one's in Hermosillo, so it's not that far from us.
Jay says they have a P-39 that crashed into a lake with a Russian pilot remains still in it, found 70 years after 1945 on display. I think they're talking about a museum up in the where they
Mm-hmm.
live.
Yeah.
Tavo says we went as crazy. The Bluebird became the Datsun 1600. Then the next model with more rounded panels was 180B, then 200B, then the bigger body after that went back to Bluebird. Glenn Nickerson is here.
Hello, Glenn. Thank you for coming.
He says, drop my Rambler home half mile under its own power today, a 15-year road trip in the making.
Nice. What kind of Rambler is it? The year and the model. I knew Jay was going to ask that
Yeah.
since he had one.
What's that?
It's thunder outside.
Yeah.
If it rains, I don't have to clean up the backyard. Rain, please.
Buff says, like the Lincolns, MKC, MKS, MKT, etc.
Yeah, yeah.
And the ZZ, no, C7, I don't like that name.
Who said that?
Buff,
The name of your car.
the C7,
Yes.
Z7.
Z7. That's the
Well,
name
he
of his
doesn't.
car.
Well, maybe he wants to change the name of his car. You don't know that. Leave him alone. Barracuda says he would have seen some action. Oh, they're talking about a family of him that he was in the forces of some kind in the war in the Pacific. Mm, Chris says, I see Pocho. I see a Pocho. Uh, that's why mine is a Z7.
Oh, okay. It's not, but okay.
Nah.
This is the best color on a Beetle, I think. The dark green. It looks so good. And if it's even darker, where you can't really tell if it's black or green, it looks even better. I was talking to a customer yesterday that wants a fuel injected Beetle because he has like 3 or 4 Beetles already or Volkswagens. He wants a fuel injected Beetle. So I just happened to come across a 1994 edition one that was pink with gray seats that had a pink tinge to them. They were only ever put in that car, and only 50 of them were made. It's the second one that I've shown him. The first one needed quite a bit of work, but this one, we were talking about it yesterday, and it's in a very small state near Jalisco, where things have been reported, pretty bad things there. But that doesn't matter to us. We'll go and get the car. But I would have to drive it like 300 and something kilometers back to Guadalajara for transport. So not sure how that will work, but it is a very nice car. If the person that owns the car would answer my messages, I could get that car for him.
Bob says that that's why his is Z7 or Z sled.
Well, Zed Sled, okay,
um,
that's a name.
Tavo asks if that's a super beetle or just a beetle, and Chris answers that's a super.
Not the ones that are shown here.
No, all of the Mexican beetles are regular beetles.
Yeah.
Glenn Nickerson answers to J. 66 Rambler, classic 5500 sedan,
550.
550 sedan, small block, Chevy 4-speed with a 61 Ford Econoline straight axle. Yeah, I said all that.
What you see on the screen right now is the Omega that I bought for a client that the mechanic has right now. The engine's out on the ground, and we have to. He's got quite a lot of work to do to it still. Underneath the passenger seat, you take the passenger seat out. There's a panel right under there. You pull that out. The engine's right under there, and it's front wheel drive.
Does it make it really hot? The engine, the not
Not,
the engine, but the cabin.
I
Does it
don't
make
know. I haven't driven it far enough.
mm,
I would assume it would because there's no insulation of
insulation?
any kind there. But the guy really did a good job on the wood. The wood looks really nice on this. He stained it and colored it and sealed it. And yeah, he did a really nice job. But none of the panels on the side come off, only in the back. So it's like permanent there.
Jay says, I had a Rambler American, not anymore.
Went to a good place though, Jay.
Sabo says, we lost the Beetle when the Golf came out. When was the last proper rear engine ones made over there?
Who's asked that?
Tabo.
2003 they were made, and the last edition was made in 2003 but VINed as 2004 models. You know what? I could probably cross a 2004 model because it would have been made in 2003. I'm gonna have to start asking these people what the date is on
Mm-hmm.
the paperwork
Bob
when it was made.
says, where are the front turn signals on the Volkswagen Beetles?
They're down in the bumper.
Depends on the year, right? No?
Well, starting in 74, they were all down in the bumper. They took the top turn signals off. So, which I prefer the signals up on the fender. So you're sitting, while you're driving it, you can see that it's flashing. The
Mm-hmm.
ones down in the bumper are really weak. They don't really use 1157 bulb. They use a smaller bulb that doesn't give out a whole lot of light. So it's just how they were made, always.
Chris answers to Tabo, 1979 in the US, 2003 in Mexico for Beetles.
Mm-hmm. 79 was all convertibles in the U.S.
Jay says, I painted my custom Softail a dark 2003 dark green metallic. Look black at night. Look great shade in of green in the sun.
That's a perfect color for the Beetles and cars like that. Looks so good.
Tabo answers to Bob del Campo in the front bumper. Our last 2 years had the same down under.
What were the last 2 years down there, Tavo?
Barracuda says that was lucky. The anime didn't reach where he was. It was sort of like a tropical holiday.
With a lot of people telling him what to do.
Yeah. Um, Chris says to Barry had some relatives who flew bombers in Europe as well.
Kevin Smith, good to see you. And I have to tell you, I was wrong.
Tell him you were wrong.
I just did. I was wrong. Scott really did shave his beard. That shocked me when I saw it.
His Kevin Smith says Spec owes me a cookie. Scott Beer shaved was real.
Yep, it was. And it's not AI because the last video he put out yesterday was over a couple of days, and you could see a little stubble growing back. So AI would have had him clean shaven all the time. So it was real.
Not necessarily. If you ask, well, doesn't matter.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Scott is so up on all the tech and everything. He would have done all that. Hey, make me look like I have 1 day growth on my face.
Mm. And Barry says that was a waist gunner in PBY Catalinas. Kevin Smith says, "Hey, caught you alive for once."
Yeah, we'll
Glenn,
be on
Nick-
for another half hour.
Glenn Nickerson answered to Barry. He says, "Was that in RAAF station where they had boomerangs near plane in time of need?" Okay. Tabo says the last years for the Beetle was 77 and 78.
The guy I was talking to yesterday sent me a picture of his 77 regular Beetle that he drives all the time. And I thought they were all Super Beetles in the US. I didn't know that they were selling them side by side that late. But his is a 77. He said he had a 2001 or 2002 Mexican Beetle at some point, but he got into an accident with it. It was imported into the US somehow, and he got into an accident with it, and now he wants another one. So, but he wants a fuel injected model.
Kevin says, "So much for the weird beard."
Yeah, that's a different channel though. I
Tabo,
think Mike still has his weird beard.
Tabo says, "Those last ones were all Super Beetles with curved windshields."
Yeah, but this guy showed me. I looked really closely at it. It had the flat windshield. It did not have the wider body. So his was a 77 model, and it was a flat. It was a normal Beetle. It was odd.
Mm, did I read this one?
No.
My brain is going off. Tabo says, "Those last ones were all Super Beetles with curved windshields."
Oh, yes, you did.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Don't mix me up more than I already am. Chris says Tavo in US Super Sedan 71 to 75, regular Beetle, and then 77 to 70,
Oh, just 77.
77, 71 to 79 convertibles were all supers.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith says fun with cars. Oh, he's saying hi to Jay. Okay. Lester says my 1972 Pinto was dark green metallic. Love that color.
Yeah, I remember those. Great color on that car.
Barracuda says I've heard of the Boomerang, not very familiar with them. Chris says here in U.S. Mexican Beetle bodies get put on an older pan so can
They
what
can get a US. They put it on an older frame so that they can get a US registration. The same guy contacted me about it, an Ultimo edition, and he says I'll just put it on an older pan. And I said, but that would destroy the value of the vehicle. Why would you do that? Because you're going to have the VIN of an older one with just. I mean, there's nothing special about the last edition other than the paint color and the white walls that came on it, which were 25 years ago, almost 25 years ago. So I told him in 2028 we'll be able to cross one. So yeah, he says, okay, put me down for 2028. I want one. But people are asking huge amounts of money. They sold new for like 80 or 90,000 pesos, and people are asking between 400 and 600,000 pesos for them. It's absolutely crazy.
hold on. Okay. Kevin says my 77 Pinto wagon was a great car. I bought it as an insurance total, drove it for 3 years, sold it in '86 for $600.
All the Pintos were good cars. None of them had a bad engine in them, like the Vega, and they just kept going. You put the key in, it starts, and you go. That's what you want out of a car with very little maintenance.
Jay says a girl I grew up with and have known for 45 years. Her grandfather jumped on D-Day, was separate from unit, spent the following days with an English soldier. They became lifelong friends.
Mm, yeah, those kinds of experiences.
Bob Del Campo says Pinto and Bobcat wagons were great cars.
I don't think I've ever had a Bobcat. Everything I had was a Pinto.
Kevin says my Pinto was powder blue.
Baby blue, yes. I remember that color very well on those.
Kevin says never caught fire. What's never?
Never.
Oh,
It was a wagon. They didn't catch fire. Only a few sedans did.
Mark obeys here.
Hey, Mark. Welcome. You caught it. You caught the live.
Jay says Robert plans that when Led Zeppelin came to town, she got backstage tickets
That
with her family. Lester says my mom had a 1972 Pinto Squire.
was one of the early Squires. Yeah, the first year for the Pinto for the wagon, I think.
Glenn Nickerson says my Pinto's color was rust with speed holes. My buddy had a 77 Mustang too with the 2.3-liter fun car that handled with like a slot car.
Feels bad. The Mustang 2 is much better with the V8 engine. I know it's a heavy slug in front, but the acceleration feels better.
Kevin Smith says never equals never. I tend to make up words. It's not that I never heard it before, is that since you guys are talking about car stuff that I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I just thought it was like a car name or something, like a part of a car or something. I don't know. I don't know what it was. It didn't connect to my brain. Mark Sobe says, I did catch the live making my mom spaghetti sauce. I haven't made it since I got sick.
Mm.
Tasty.
Is that a long process to make the sauce? Are you melting the tomatoes, cooking the tomatoes, or
Melting the
well,
tomatoes.
you put them in the pot and then you cook them down into the sauce. That's melting them.
Did you even cook? What the hell? Tabo says, I'm in coffee number 6, still trying to wake up properly. What the hell, Tabo? Why cover number 6? No. 3 is like maximum. You can't have.
He's retired. He has the rest of the day to do whatever.
Yeah, but it's too much coffee.
Maybe
Are
it's
you at least?
maybe it's decaffeinated.
Is it decaffeinated? Are you like watering it down with milk or something? What the hell? Or are you just like vibrating in your chair? Barracuda says Pintos have the same engines as English Fords, don't they?
Not all of them. The 2.3 was a U.S. engine, I think, and they used it all the way up into the Ford Rangers for years and years and years.
Mark says about 30 minutes prep and 2 hours cook time.
Mm.
Kevin says, geez, Tavo, 6 coffees, I'll be very jittery.
I don't drink coffee.
It makes you jittery.
No,
Jitter.
I just never got into the habit.
No, but I'm saying like if you drink too much, it
Yeah,
makes
well,
you
yeah,
like
obviously too much caffeine, but I just never got into the habit in my life of drinking coffee unless it's really, really cold outside and I want to burn my hands,
yeah,
keep my hands warm. Like when we delivered the 81 Valiant Volare.
yeah.
It was cold. 9 degrees outside Celsius. It was cold in that car.
Tavo answering to Barry's question about the Pintos having the same engines as the Ford, the English Ford, says yeah, the 2-liter OHC found in
Mm-hmm.
Cortinas.
Mm-hmm.
Tavo says it's only 8 a.m. here. Yeah, but that's worse because you've had 6 coffees in like 2 hours. It's not that it's early, it's that like you have had 6 coffees, period. Kevin Smith, Tavo choose coffee. Bosco Campo to vary over the years. 16,000 British,
1600.
1600 British pushrod engine, 2000 OHC, 2.3 OHC, and 2.8 Cologne V6.
I've had the 1600 in my first Pinto. I've had a lot of the 2.3s, and I had the V6. I don't think I've ever had one with a 2000 in it.
Mark Sabe says only veggies in the sauce is onions and tomatoes, ground beef, and the rest is all spices.
Mm.
Well, sounds delish.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith says I drink my coffee black, no cream or sugar.
You like your coffee black like your women.
I was thinking about the song, but anyway.
It's
Uh,
Airplane. The little boy offers coffee to the little girl. I like my coffee black like my men.
uh,
She was like 11 years old.
Jay says I love coffee. Coffee is good, but six coffees.
We don't know the size of the cup.
Granddad, Granddad's junk. Due up early, Tabo. Retirement. I don't get up before 10. It's 10:30 here. He got early specifically for this.
Yeah, he set an alarm. Thank you, Tavo.
Thank you. Mark Sabe says Coke Zero for me.
I tried freezing that, and there's just not enough carbonation in it for me to be able to eat it. It comes out a big solid piece of ice. So no Coke Zero for me.
Chris says never develop a taste for coffee. It's not for everyone.
When I was in Mexico City with my son, we're at the breakfast buffet, and I told him I put 4 sugars and cream in my coffee because I don't like the taste of coffee. And he says, "What? Are you crazy?" So he puts 1 sugar in, taste it, two, three, 4 sugars. Exactly the same as me.
Has he ever had coffee before that?
Probably, but I don't know. He didn't like the taste of it.
Crazy kid. Jesus. Hold on. Kevin Smith says, I'm lucky if I'm up by 2 p.m. Too much pain to sleep at night. Yeah, same. But I work at night, so. Glenn Nickerson says, 9 degrees Celsius is a heat wave here in March.
We're not used to it, believe me. And then when we started driving the car, which I did not know, underneath the dash was, the door that you open if you want fresh air to come in. It was open and blowing directly on my legs, freezing air. So I had to find something in the car, and I shoved in there to to uh, to block off the air. And then 2.5 hours up the road, up the highway, we stopped at Walmart, and I bought some gloves, but I had to cover my legs. It was terrible.
I was wearing for that trip because I knew it was early and I get cold easily. I was wearing leggings and I was wearing pants, jeans. And when we stopped to buy him gloves, I had sweats to sleep in, and I got him out of my bag and put him on top of everything else
Yeah,
because I was like, no, way too much.
it was cold.
And we had two blankets with us, small blankets, but we had two blankets and we had them draped around our legs because it's just too much. It wasn't the it was 9 degrees outside, but because we had so much air coming in, it was just too much. Barracuda says I had a late Mark One Capri with an OHC 1600, a great little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Spec says it's not good. Yeah, but have you had it before that one time to say that you like? Why is it paused? Sorry. Um, like, have you had coffee before that one time, or was that your first time having coffee? Kevin Smith says supposed to have back surgery, but have no one to take care of the warden.
Uh,
The warden is the cat.
no, his wife.
Ah,
You don't have any other family members that can come in and help?
if you have like insurance, like even the Medicaid insurance, you can request a nurse to come and take care of.
It may be a different insurance company where he is.
I don't know what his. Mm, Jay says, I don't like Celsius. I had to double the number and add it to 32. Celsius is so much easier because freezing is zero and that's it. Like that's what your base is at. Like if it's below zero, you're freezing. If it's over zero, you're not freezing. That's how you know.
I was freezing at 9.
Yeah, but I mean water.
My body is Fahrenheit.
This body is
Yes,
Fahrenheit.
exactly. Not used to that
I'm
cold
gonna make
weather.
you a t-shirt that says that. I know when we make merch, that's gonna be your t-shirt.
Yeah, great. Make merch.
Granda's Junk says the best coffee I've ever had was in Bolivia. Beautiful, and you get a hot jug of coffee syrup and a jug of hot milk.
Syrup in the coffee? I could go for that.
The coffee that I love the most here is the café de la olla or coffee made on the pot, which is it's originally made on a clay pot. They don't make it on a clay pot anymore, but it's like coffee with cinnamon and it's sweetened by molasses. It's so good, and you usually don't put any milk on it because it's just like that's how it goes.
Are you missing some?
No, he retracted it. No. Glenn says to Jay, only metric conversion I can do unless it's below zero. The Fahrenheit to Celsius. Chris to Jay, don't tell people how much Celsius sucks, otherwise they'll get mad. Jay says, I told my mother in law I like my coffee like my women, hot, sweet, and black. She laughed. Barracuda says, budget instant coffee is good enough for me. Yeah, that's what I drink.
Whatever gets you warmed up when it's cold.
Yeah, I drink instant coffee with milk and some sugar. Well, some it's not sugar. It's
Stevia or something.
yeah, stevia or something like
Fake
that.
sugar.
It's fake sugar. Lester says at the cost here, coffee is becoming a luxury. Yeah, the
Mm,
coffee prices are gonna go up so much.
yeah.
So if you are a fan of coffee and can't live without it, stock up. Letting you know right now. Kevin Smith says metric system is so much easier. That's what we use in the cabinet shop. Kevin Smith says no insurance for her.
Mm.
No insurance for her, but do you have insurance? Because if you can bring someone, hmm. Jay says I took a transmission out of a 1-ton Chevy Express van in the snow in -15 degrees Celsius. Oh, freezing.
Now you're just showing off, Jay.
Barracuda says, by the way, instant coffee was invented in New Zealand. Ooh. Well, color TV was invented in Mexico. So there you go.
What we all watching?
Which
We're
we're
all
all
watching
watching.
right now.
Well, yeah. Kevin Smith, my daughter is too busy with her new husband and kids, kinda like a Brady Bunch.
Bring them all over. One more person to take care of. She won't even notice.
Bob Del Campo, don't like Celsius? Use Kelvin. Human body temperature is 310 K.
I have a hard enough time trying to understand Celsius, so I keep everything in Fahrenheit. Doctor asks, "How much do you weigh?" I don't know what to answer because I don't know anything about kilos. So
Kilos is easy.
yeah, well, I don't look
Well,
at it.
if you can only think on what's the other one that is not kilos?
Pounds.
If you can only think on pounds, just cut it in half.
It's not
It's
exactly
not
half.
exactly, but it's pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And your doctor has is asking you for an approximation. If he wants to know exact, he's gonna weigh you. So
Yeah, and then I have to try to figure out what his number is to what I understand.
well then double it. Um, Jay says, Barracuda, are you in New Zealand, right? Mark Sobe says cinnamon is good for you as well. Yes, it is. Ah, moving.
Yes.
I can't. You're asking the impossible. I'm sorry. You're asking the impossible. I thought that's what you were. I thought you were talking about something else.
No.
I'm not gonna stop moving. I'm sorry. Am I making noise?
We only have 10 minutes left.
I'm not gonna stop moving.
So stop moving.
No. You're asking the impossible. Kevin Smith. Everything in moderation.
Except for sugar. Everything else in moderation, yes.
Mm-hmm. Barracuda. Yes, in New Zealand. Kevin Smith. I drink my coffee cold most of the time. It's good. Cold
The,
as in you left it outside, and cold as in with ice.
the first time I remember seeing iced coffee was the Twilight Zone episode with William Shatner, and he's sitting at the table and he's putting coins into the little machine with a devil on it. I never saw iced coffee before. Like, how could anybody drink coffee with ice in it? It's supposed to be warm. It's supposed to warm you up. But no.
No.
Okay, I'll admit the dark red looks good on Beetles too.
Yep.
Looks really good. You have to pay attention to where you're taking the pictures though, because that building is reflecting in the car and making it look weird.
Granddad's junk says to fun to Jay 15 degrees bugger. That's way too cold.
Yep.
Chris says minus 15 Celsius is when us Westerns New Yorkers start debating whether to put away our shorts and start wearing long pants. Show off.
We're at like 37 here most days. 37 to 40 Celsius most days here.
Glenn Nickerson says to Jay, it's the only time a car breaks down and you need it. Snow on the ground and below zero weather. Too many fond memories of laying in a snowbank and fixing stuff.
Yes, the vehicle is complaining, don't take me out in this snow. Just leave me alone. And you're not listening to it.
Bob Del Campo says 2.2 to get kilos. See?
Mm-hmm. That's not two.
Why this is close enough?
Alpina.
And then says, no, wait, 2.2 to get pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the other way around.
Either way.
Barracuda says, the older I get, the more I hate cold weather. Yeah.
It affects you a lot more.
Chris says, I remember that episode.
When it's cold, my hands do not move.
The toilet.
They're yeah, I know. When it's cold, my hands freeze in the position they're in. That's it. I had an air conditioner in my room where the computer is, and it was behind me blowing on my back, which the air cold air would hit my hands, and it would be really hard to type anything with the air blowing. Lucky for me, the whole system blew up, and I don't have air anymore. So.
Lucky for you. Bob Del Campo says, I moved away from Ohio to get away from the cold. Too many car projects in the snow.
Well, Arizona and California, there's no snow to worry about. So.
Granddad's Junk says, Chris, lol, that's why I'm on the West Coast. Gets to 0 Celsius, our coldest day in Greymouth here, and no snow. Hmm.
The closer you are to sea level, there's no snow.
Kevin Smith says, too much shrinkage.
Exactly, George.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, George. Shrinkage.
Bob Del Campo says 37 to 40 Celsius is perfect. No, it's not.
No,
No, it's not, darling.
Burns everything around.
Yeah.
That's between 110 and 120 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yep.
So, no, a bit too hot. But we don't have a choice. This is where we live.
Yep. Barracuda says shrinkage can be bothersome. Lester says people drink hot and iced tea. Why not for coffee also?
Well, yeah, people do. I don't. I don't drink hot. I don't drink tea at all. But it just never occurred to me that you could put ice in coffee, because when it's hot, I put the sugar in, I put the cream in, and the sugar will not mix with cold water, with cold anything. So the sugar would just go to the bottom of the cup. I don't like the taste of coffee.
Um, Tabo says about 6 years ago we had a 49 Celsius day here. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, we do have him here as well. And Tabo says goes about 50 further north.
Mm.
Yeah, same here. And Sonora goes about 50.
Those kind of days, people are at the beach.
Barracuda says, do women know about shrinkage?
Anybody that watched that episode, they
I
do.
don't I don't watch that episode, but I guess
Common sense, yes.
common sense. Yeah. Jay says, my wife and daughter drink iced coffee all the time. I don't get it either.
How do you get rid of the coffee taste when it's iced coffee, when the sugar won't mix with the
That's because you like
coolness?
coffee.
Well, who likes coffee? Who drinks coffee just for the
People
flavor?
people like coffee.
People don't like coffee.
Yes.
Nobody likes coffee. They just drink it because it's a habit.
Kevin Smith says, correction, room temperature coffee.
Oh,
Be careful with room temperature coffee because if you drink it with milk, the milk can get spoiled fast. You know, it's not gonna be fun unless you like being on the toilet.
you
Um,
didn't need that last part.
Kevin Smith says, very good. That's what she said. Okay. Tavo says 27 to 30 Celsius is good by me. Yeah, 27 to 30 is really nice. Barracuda says, let's ask Elaine about shrinkage. Glenn Nickerson says, a car in below zero weather creaks and makes noises that make it sound like it's about to snap in half, and engine noises that sound like it's about to throw over a rod.
Yes, because it's complaining. Cars have arthritis too.
Buffalo Campos says, I lived in Yuma, Arizona. 37 to 40 Celsius was perfect. 50 Celsius was a little warm. No way.
Buff, how far away from the border is Yuma? I'm just curious because that's where my client lives that bought the Ormiga.
Kevin Smith says, that's why I drink it black. Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, black coffee, room temperature is fine. Buffalo Campos says, 50 Celsius. I was working on the flight line.
That's a lot of sweating to do.
Mm,
I know because I've done it.
yeah. Kevin Smith says, get so cold in February, the key won't turn. Dabo says caffeine addiction. And Granddad's Junk says, what's that car in the picture? Which car? That one? I didn't press play.
It's a 1983 AMC Spirit that was brought into Mexico and turned into an AMX. The orange, I think, looks really good on the black, and the interior is nice too. The car's sitting out in front of my house right now because it's mine. By default, it's mine.
Chris says engine block heaters exist for a reason.
Yep.
Pablo Campos says Yuma is on the border.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. That's what he says.
I'm gonna have to look at a map because he has to come over to Nogales to get it. See how far that is. Videos have done this to us too. Put it on the side.
Yeah.
He's showing right now because I asked him for a cold start video, and he's pointing out it's cold. It's cold.
Mm. Jay says, I think they sweeten it with flavored syrup.
Mm. I do need a steering column for this car because the car has a non-tilt steering column in it right now. He gave me the tilt steering column with it, but it's no good. It's too badly damaged. So I have to find a tilt steering column for this car. Now I left it out in the rain, so now it's all rusted. But I got rid of those blue headlights. they were LED and melted the wiring. So I put regular headlights in there. Now I just have to do the wiring on it and put it back together. I guess it was a black car before. So I don't see any other colors. I don't think they changed the color. They just added the stripe kit and put the 4.6 in there and the wheels on it and stuff like that. But if I could specialize in the VAM cars or the Ramblers or AMCs or whatever you want to call it here, I would do that because I love them so much. I would go all over the country and bring them back here and to deliver them. I'd love to do that. Great driving cars, but nobody wants them. Even the special Mexico only Lerma, nobody wants them.
Mark Tubey wants to know what year it is.
1983.
Um, Glenn Nickerson to Chris says, engine heater? You mean CC warmer? Cold weather makes the man. And Chris answers to Glenn, lol, block heaters warm up the engine, oil, not the occupants.
Yeah, just even start the vehicle.
Buff del Campo says the easiest way to Yuma is probably from Algodones or San Luis. Yuma is on the border, but there is no crossing there.
Yeah, well, he has to come over to Nogales because that's the only place that we have it all set up
Yeah.
where you can cross. It's after 4 o'clock, so we have to go. I have to do a few things before Tony comes on. So I want to thank everybody for being here and all the conversation and all the questions and all the laughs.
If you have any more questions, send us an email, a text, or something. We cannot answer.
And if you're still awake, Dr. Spec, go to sleep.
You can go to sleep now. Kevin Smith says, my uncle Percy built a frame under his AMX. He hated only unibody cars. His was a new car too. And Dr. Speck says yes. Glenn says to Chris, use one of my wife's Honda Accords. They were known to blow out oil pump seals in the cold weather. Tabo says adios y gracias. Kevin says see you later all. Grandasiuk says cool guys. Take it easy, brothers and sisters. Chris says see you guys later, literally.
Literally, yes. In an hour.
Jay says I have to go. Maybe see you at Tony's Light Mix. Great job, Mrs. Speck. Thank you, thank you. I tried.
Adios, all.
Thank you for coming, guys. See you later.